Hello. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Actually, I never actually introduced myself. Well, my channel name is Studis. Um, Maybe at some point in time I'll be comfortable enough to tell you my name. Um, I have been thinking, I actually was just watching a video about trauma of late diagnosis, about late diagnosis with autism to be specific. And I have not been diagnosed. I just want to be clear about that. Um, the thing I was thinking about was how would I frame it? Like autistic curious. Yeah. So I identify a lot with the characteristics of autism, and I've been looking through that framework and viewing my life in that lens has allowed me to make um, make a lot more sense about the things I've experienced in my life. And while I was watching this video, um, it was the thing I thought about doing. Once I learn how to edit and all this stuff, because these videos I'm sharing are going to be more of a long form, me hashing out things in my head. I don't I don't see a lot of that, and the jump cuts and stuff kind of irritate me. Maybe I'll learn how to do subtitles or something. I know I don't speak as clear as I think I do, and I don't know how to modulate my volume. Um, I think when I'm really performing by putting on or trying to display way of being, excuse the car, I can be more animated. I've learned a lot about how to be through TV and movies. So if I see someone act in a certain way and I see that it's effective in that scenario, I try to apply it in that case. But sorry, I got sidetracked. I was watching this video. Um, the person was reacting to somebody else's video about them sharing their experiences of being late diagnosed, and I didn't finish the video. I This is almost like a reaction video to that, but that sparked something in my mind um, about an experience I had. Um, by reframing it through an autistic lens, or um, not an autistic lens. What the hell would an autistic lens be? Um, through um, um, understanding that experience as someone who is autistic, who was autistic, who just didn't become autistic, who's been autistic my entire life. Um, I remember the moment when I knew I wasn't safe in high school. Um, and when I really, because I was trying to think of when did I really suppress, because I was sorry, my mind is like a series of different like tracks. They're kind of, some of them are parallel, and I can see the connections. But I was watching a TikTok compilation video of this girl who was talking about well, she wasn't talking. She had the captions and she was dancing in the dark in the background. And about how she suppressed herself and she became super dull, and the life went out, and she's starting to allow that to come out now. But when I was in high school, I went to a high school that so they thought I was really smart. My I went I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I ended up to back home. So like full circle again. Um, so I never really fit in. I moved away when I was um, kindergarten. Yep, kindergarten, and I think it was. I don't know if it was first grade. Moved out to Wyoming. So I'm from a reservation in Minnesota, in I guess what you would say. And what I would say is Indian reservation, but I guess that's not politically correct anymore. I'm not allowed to call myself an Indian. I'm a Native American, I guess. I don't want to get into all that, but it's um, so I moved from there to another. Moved out to Wyoming to another reservation. My stepfather was a police officer, and he moved there after we had some riots in my hometown, and so we moved out to Wyoming, and I really melted down. Like, well, I did my best to fit in, and here, um, when I got there, I was in one grade, and it seemed like I was finally okay. I finally made a friend, finally fitting in. And mind you, I'm I'm making this up. My memory is horrible. These are just things I'm piecing together. But they transferred me to another room because they thought I was smart, or smarter than they thought. So they transferred me to another room, and I just lost it. Oh my God, I lost it. There was this. I, the thing I remember was there was this big plastic ball that was hollow, and the only thing I could do once they transferred me to that room, and realizing I wasn't going to be with the people I actually finally made friends with, I wasn't going to be with them anymore. I crawled in that ball and I cried. I couldn't do it. That was it. I think that was it for the day. I don't remember if I stayed in that classroom or what. My memories are really patchy. Like, I really wish, like, I hear people talk about my elementary school teacher, so and so, my third grade teacher. I don't have those memories. I I I don't have those memories. I remember my fifth grade teacher. Um, she was really distinct. My sixth grade, actually, I don't know. It might be fourth, fifth. But I remember a teacher around that time that um, I think he called me by my, well, this is to goes to show like how bad my memory is. But I think he called me my first and last name because he thought it sounded professional, and he thought that I was a serious, smart person. But That school, that the principal there, he went off to work at another school. He got basically upgraded from, you know, being in charge of this elementary school to a high school. And he basically really wanted me to attend, even though I really struggled in middle school because I traveled off the, I, just, I, I went off the reservation for middle school. So I had the bus about, I think it took me about 45 minutes to an hour every morning, uh, busing from where I was from to a nearby school district for a better education. But you know, so I had to. This was kind of my first experience being in a um, non-native environment, even though I lived in a couple other states on different reservations. This was like really my first experience with non-white people that didn't own a store or wasn't a cashier. It's just so wild to think about. And yeah, I went there and they assumed that I was smart and dumb at the same time. Um, I remember being put um, in the dumb math class because I was the only, well, there was two, I had one classmate that was adopted um, from Guatemala and raised by white parents, and there was another girl that was, um, I'm not sure what her diagnosis was, but she had a learning disorder. But we all got lumped together and put in the special math class uh, because we were different. And I remember, I think it was like maybe a month in, I was just like, this is so dumb. This is this is ridiculously easy for me. And here she's like, oh, I shouldn't I shouldn't have I should have put you in algebra, you know. And that threw me off. That threw me off for that my entire high school career because I was advanced in science, but my math was behind because I had to take algebra in the ninth grade. But I didn't have any kind of study habits. You know, the stuff just came easy to me, like just okay, okay. But the the doing the homework or writing, um, I really struggled with writing. I learned actually a couple of years. How many years? I don't know. I went back to school as an adult and learned that I have dyslexia. So that makes sense. But saying all that, 13 minutes, I'm getting to the original story that came to mind when I knew I wasn't safe in school. I, well, one of them I just had a couple other pop into my head. But I remember it was ninth grade. I went to a boarding school, a Catholic boarding school, and there was international students. So there was people from all over the world that went to school there, and there was students from Mexico that um, that went there, and they were all in a group, and it was some type of bonfire, and I back then I wore really thick glasses I've had laser eye surgery, so like I can cook steaks without a grill now. And I had like my hair was cut like a helmet, so up here, and then it covered my ears because I was embarrassed of my ears for some reason, and I didn't know how to style my hair. So, like, just over the top of these really thick glasses, I photobombed them. They were all in a group, and they were all together, like, and so I jumped in, being a being a dork that I am, seeing what was happening. I photobombed them before that was even a word, that before that was even in the lexicon. I don't know how many times I'm gonna do this. Oh, look at this story time. I must be getting comfortable. Uh, but here, they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that I jumped in their photo. And one of the guys um, came up to me and was like, "What? What's your name?" And I'm excited, like, "Oh, they're gonna be my friends. They're gonna be my friends." And takes my hand and does some type of karate stuff, and wow, I'm on my back. Whoa! And that whole group of guys was laughing at me, and just like it went from like this thrill of getting to know people and thinking I was accepted to get that out of here. We don't want none of that. To just, I was bullied from then on by that group. Like I would see them in the hallway and they would be speaking Spanish and I didn't understand. So I took Spanish. I took Spanish to learn what they were saying. And here I had a roommate from that was part of that group that was bullying me that, later on befriended, which I'm learning now, like what are friends, and that dude wasn't my friend. Was a part of that group and was my roommate, so I had to constantly see that group of people. Um, yeah, it's wild. And I went to school there for 3 years. I made one one friend, and like we were in some I don't know group. I don't know. It's really really crazy to think about being being possibly autistic and just how from then on I oh even like I even got like a similar thing happened to me with what they call a prefect, someone who watched over the dormitory, who was a college student that worked there to kind of help with his tuitions, like type of deal, or he got free housing. He totally assaulted me, like thought I was making fun of him because he knew kung fu. I'm lifelong fascination with kung fu. I don't know how many kung fu movies I've seen in my life. Bruce Lee is like my hero, and he's like this giant, like, oh my god, just giant guy, and short guy though, like 5'5", 5'6", but like he would go like this, and he literally like had a wing pop out. And I remember one time we were in this walkway area, and I imitated my kung fu that I saw Bruce Lee do in all the movies, and he was offended by that. And I didn't understand that that could be offensive, that me imitating my hero, Bruce Lee, to a Chinese person would be offensive. I wasn't like, I wasn't like pulling my eyes back or, doing some kind of like mocking. I was imitating. And this adult man, I think I was 14 years old at the time, comes up to me and I'm thinking like maybe he's going to teach me some kung fu. And he does. He teaches me how to get kneed in the stomach. Comes up and wah! Like I am buckled on the ground. I just got hit by this insanely strong adult man. I'm buckled on the floor, and he says that's only like I forgot what percentage, 10% of my power or 5, just brags about it in front of my friend. My friend doesn't say or do anything, and I just like I have to fucking live with it, you know. I thought like what did I do to deserve that? Like I actually haven't thought about that memory in some time. I don't know how to feel about that, you know. So does that am I a racist? Did I deserve that as a child? And now thinking like possibly autistic child deserve to be uh, assaulted, you know. So there's been a lifetime of stuff like that has happened to me, and kind of in this framework makes a little more sense. I've always been just seen as different and outside the group, and but that's about time. I hope you have a good day. I don't know, like how do I leave that? Like I I'm still here. I've had a lot of experiences that have. Sorry about the hand waving. It's there's like little tiny bugs. I don't know if you can pick that up at all. And it's probably a good thing to move. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now, or that's what came to mind. But I'm not going to be thinking about in probably 5-10 minutes. I'll be processing something else. So there's a whole lifetime of good stuff, and I'm going to be recording these because it's like I don't see anybody else out there that any adult Native American, I guess that's the term I got to call myself now, men out there that are oh shit, just even like just people processing through this. I see a lot of like short form. I see a lot of afters. Even though like I was thinking about the before and after earlier, it's like it's like the same. Like every after, like everything is a transition to something else. Everything's a before and after. So anyway, I could probably talk forever. I just been completely bottled up, not talking to anyone. I'm talking to myself here in the camera. And if anyone else wants to watch along, they can. If this finds you and helps you in some way, um, I hope it does. Like I was kind of thinking about like how this could even be like, somebody's doing research on on people's experiences. This is like a real life movie, I guess. But hey, I'm happy guy. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Um, I guess this is the annoying part where people say like and subscribe. I'm not gonna say that. But if you'd like to hear me ramble again, um, same bad time, same bad channel. Tune in next week.